God you're here. We just launched the new scheduling system today, but oh boy, sites are saying that they can't edit any of the appointments that carried over from the old system.
Where's Holly? She's the PM. Have you talked to her?
I don't know. We've been trying to reach out, but nobody can get a hold of her.
What? Holly, hey, we just launched and issues are coming in from multiple sites. Are you aware?
Oh, I'm not surprised to hear that.
Oh, okay. So, how do we fix it?
Well, I told you this would be a problem weeks ago and that we needed more time. But, unfortunately, I can't help you.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just started my new job today and I don't want to be late for orientation. So good luck.
Wait, Holly?
Amber, what did she say? Oh, Amber, I am so excited about today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to Sanity Podcast. I'm Holly, this is Amber, and today we are talking about revenge quitting. Oh my God, I am so excited for this topic. I know we talked in the past about quiet quitting, just doing just enough to get by, but not all exits are quiet. And some people really want to make sure that their exit is felt, that it doesn't go unnoticed, just like our skit. So Amber, I have a question for you. Have you ever seen anybody revenge quit in like your workplace setting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me. I want to hear their version. I want to know about it.
Well, obviously they were pissed, right? Yeah. And it was definitely a scenario where they had just had enough. Yeah. And instead of swallowing it down and feeling like they could be the bigger person, they became the problem. So there was yelling, there was loud F this, there were curse words flying, there was paperwork being thrown, and then they just left.
Dang.
And it was like, right? It was 100% like water cooler break room. I mean, we lived off of that drama and that story for like at least 2 weeks before the next, event happened. But that was workplace food for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because so that makes me think, because I had to research, I had to read about all of this stuff because these are all these fancy phrases and we're calling everything quiet quitting, revenge. I didn't know what any of this stuff was until we started talking through our episode ideas. I did read that there's a difference between rage quitting and revenge quitting because rage quitting is the heat of the moment, right? And you go out with a splash kind of thing, whereas revenge quitting is more calculated. It's more strategic. You leave when it's going to hurt them the most. So kind of like our skit, we just had this this new scheduling system just rolled out, and lo and behold, things didn't go as smoothly as we thought. Sure. And you're not there to help fix it and stuff like that. And I'm like, that is very it's very you don't make that decision overnight. This is something you plot and plan for. And I'm kind of I'm at this point too in my life where I think past Holly, if I had been the other person in that skit who was so-and-so quit and we're left hanging, I would have been mad at them. But the Holly I am now, I can see why people do this. You know what I mean? I can see where this stuff builds up over time and the constant dismissals or the burnout or, no accountability. Oh my God, you and I know no accountability and all of these things leads people to start planning for something like this, plan an exit that, you'll regret this kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And thinking back on the difference between rage and revenge quitting, I mean, obviously my story is certainly rage, but I actually think that I've seen more instances of revenge time out, revenge, mental health days.
Oh.
I'm not going to do it in a way that jeopardizes my job, but I certainly want to send a message that I am unavailable.
Hadn't even thought of that.
I will come back, right? So it's maybe not like, so I think the revenge part that I have seen in terms of like time away is been more about like calculating when they're going to be gone on leave or when they're like, as is said, conveniently sick. Like it's like they're sending a message, and that is in some ways like a revenge, or it could be revenge, or it could be just a cop out. Like, I don't actually want to participate in this. And it's that I just don't want to engage in this kind of activity or be here for this really big thing. I'll just get it on the other end because it's going to be somebody's job to fill me in. Right. Like, so, so I think I've seen more of that when it comes to revenge than the quitting. So this is a really fascinating distinction because even when I think of revenge quitting, I still think of anger. Like revenge to me feels like a very cold anger versus the hot one.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I think like one of the reasons I'm not shocked to kind of hear it being talked about right now, especially with the hype of AI and all this worry about being replaced by AI. And then people are like, you know, there's no loyalty. Like, it depends on who you talk to now. But it's like, you know, people aren't worried about like maintaining that. Like, you know what I mean? I think like people burning bridges now is like not as uncommon as it once was. Like, you know, like in the past, it was like, I need those references. Now people are like, screw it. Like, you know what I mean?
I'll
like,
make new ones. Yeah.
Exactly. I think there's this, you know, people are less afraid of being open about like poor workplace conditions or poor cultures and things like this. Like there was this big article going on about some like very big influencers and things going on in their work culture. And it's like it's all the buzz right now. So I'm not so surprised to hear it being talked about right now.
Because it's a calculated move.
Yes, it is. Like you thought through it. It's planned.
It's planned. There's calculation in this. There is plan in every aspect of it, right? You know, like the traps you may set to go, oh, I know this person behaves like this, and I'm just going like there's some knivery. Yeah. I think that's a word.
That totally sounded legit to me.
Made it up, right?
And I know like all the stuff that I was reading online, because we've got something fun planned for later, but like a lot of things that I was reading online, there's always at least one or two, or sometimes more than that, people who are like, you know, why didn't you think about what this would do to your coworkers kind of thing? What about, you know, and it kind of, there was somebody who brought up like, this is a villain origin story, right?
Yes.
It really, I see that connection when I was reading through the comments on some of these stories that I was reading. It was very, very interesting for sure. And I see it differently too now than I would have in the past. What about you?
I mean, I always like to do benefit of the doubt, so I'm not sure that I see it any differently than I would have in the moment. I would have definitely, if I was impacted by that, or I was kind of like part of where hopefully I wasn't the person that the revenge was aimed at. Like, I really hope that I've never done that to somebody to do that, but maybe I was, and I just didn't know. And so it is something, you know, for me to take back and go like, oh, was that about me? Or am I just, you know, kind of impacted? But the benefit of the doubt that I always give everybody is that I may not understand people's reasons, but I do understand that something drove them to this being what they felt was the best choice for them. Because even in rage quitting, like letting themselves like get to that level of rage, also kind of feels like they got tired of being in control of themselves. They got tired of, because who knows how many times, right, that they've had to be into that. So I think that I'm always looking at it from, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean that there's not an understanding to be had. And it's just a matter of, am I close enough to this person to go and seek that out? Do I want to go and find out if they need support and help? And most of the times, right? No, I wasn't close enough to them, because if I had ever, you know, seen that happen, then, I probably would have known it was coming, or have been like aware that it was going to happen. Because I've heard people say, if this thing happens, right, I'm taking a mental health day. Right. And so I have been warned in those types of scenarios where I know where people's limits are, and that they're like, if this thing occurs, then that's a boundary for them. Right. They're like, I know that I am not, I may lose my job. right? Because I may come back and say something. So this is the best way that I can control myself, is to just remove myself from the scenario and the situation. And so I think that I can just understand everyone, and I'm not sure that I've had a change of heart. I think that it is more in our vernacular, it's more in our common language to know some of these terms, or to know, like you had mentioned before, there's many stacked reasons on any given day why it makes sense that people are just quitting.
Definitely. I like how, though, you brought up like kind of like regaining control, because I think that's like in all of these cases, that's what it's like. I've lost control and I'm trying to get some of it back. You know what I mean? But absolutely, I see it very differently. I feel, because like when I first joined the workforce, like I said, I was very young. I was working with a lot of people who were a lot older than me. I didn't have very many people who were the same age as me. So I learned things from my older coworkers who basically kind of taught me that, you know, you get shit on every day and you just take it. And I was like, okay. So I had to like grow thicker skin. I had to kind of like, you know, somebody does something that I don't like, and I just have to like brush it off and like get back up and like keep going. Towards the end, I was working with people who were a lot younger than me. It was insane. I was suddenly that person that was working with these 20-year-olds. And I'm like, and they were like, no, I don't do it that way. Like, you know, I have these boundaries, and I, you know, if you cross these boundaries, like that's it, kind of thing. Like they were very firm about what they would and would not accept, what they would and would not tolerate. And I so admired that. And that's what I mean by like, I saw it differently. I would have been that person back in the day who would have been like, man, you left us hanging. How dare you? I would have been mad at the person, not mad at all of these other things that led to that person taking that action. Do you know what I mean? I see things so much differently now than I did when I first joined the workforce so long ago, because of the people I had surrounded myself with, and the people who are now in the workforce who were kind of saying, we're not going to go that anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to let you keep dumping on us and just say that's okay. And that's what I mean. Like this whole idea of loyalty is a joke. That's crazy. Like, again, your company would like get rid of you and replace you in an instant if it was beneficial for them. Like, you don't matter. Like, and I really believe those things. So I can empathize with someone who is like, you know, I've stated that this is a boundary, or I've said like, I won't tolerate this, and people just are constantly dismissing me. Well, I'm going to go somewhere where I am respected, where my voice is heard. Those kinds of things. Like, good for you.
I am going to just be honest that I have always been usually the youngest in where I have worked. And so when you mention the, like, I have to do my time and I have to follow these particular sets of rules. Yeah, I certainly followed those sets of rules. Right. Yes, and so always. I don't have many experiences of working with people who have those really firm boundaries of like, yeah, I know that already. I'm not going to sit here and just like paddle in the kiddie pool waiting for, you know, like the adults to make room for me. I can be in this room, right? Like I have a position in this company. Out injustices,
Amber, like, cause I can't tell you how many times I would see things and like everybody else, they're like, you turn a blind eye, right? Like you see, you know, these things are happening, but nobody talks about it. And then these young people are in and they're like, why the heck is this happening? Why are you allowing this? And all it, like, I mean, it's spoken aloud, right? All these dirty secrets that like we all just maybe got used to, and we're like, hey, I guess that's just the way it is, because all the other people are saying that's just the way it is, and people are like, not having that. Like I was like, yes, thank you. Like I wasn't brave enough to be like a voice for those things, but when you have more people, a greater movement of people who are saying like, no, like I'm like, yes, I could do it now. I have like the courage to say like, yeah, like that's not okay. You know what I mean?
I feel like in these scenarios, we just have very different like people experiences, except for at the very end, right? Like we had very, very similar.
Yeah, that's true.
But, like,
that's true.
Our own origin stories, right? Of like how we have seem to have been crafted in you know, different ways in different spaces, which is awesome. And so I am curious. So speaking of like our time together and kind of like how we spent, so we both just like non-dramatic exits for both of us, right? And so I am curious, if you had it to do again, would you have adopted a quiet quitting, a revenge or rage quit? Like what would be your style? Not that you would want to like go out that way, but like where do you imagine your style is of those three?
Probably more the revenge than any of it. I'm
Ooh,
not a
really?
I'm not a make a scene kind of person. And the quiet quitting, like, here's the thing. If I see like slop, I can't allow sloppy
Mhm,
work. And I feel
mhm.
like sloppy work was tolerated, but that wasn't me. So I feel like to do the quiet quitting route would have been like, well, just do what everybody else is doing and turn in this garbage. And I'm like, I can't do the garbage. I can't
Right.
do it. So I would like if I had thought I was going to do it differently, maybe
Mhm,
revenge quitting.
mhm.
But the thing is, like, revenge quitting makes me think like that's because I don't know. I also, the people that I was working with towards the end too, like I wouldn't have wanted to do something that would have hurt
Right,
them.
right.
Not to
Yes,
say like
yes.
the bigger, company
Right,
didn't deserve something, but it's like it's not going to be felt at that level. It's going to be
right.
felt by the people that I was working with, and I'm not sure I could do that. But like, what about you? What was yours? Because like you were like kind of shocked by mine. Like, what would yours have been?
I'm shocked by yours because I would never have associated the word revenge with you.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
and
like
so,
that's why I
right?
didn't do it. Because like again, like this, Amber, I felt like you were like holding me to like over the fire. Like you must make a choice.
No, no, because and maybe the better question is that when you daydream of quitting, what does your
Yeah,
daydream self like kind of see you
revenge
doing
quitting
rather
though.
than
You got me on the first one. It was. I mean, if we're doing the daydream route, definitely.
so maybe it's less
That
about
was a
like
good. That was good
like
though. Yeah.
regret, but like how do you
Yeah.
daydream quit? And
Yes.
I daydream quit in rage, like just like oh,
Really?
like oh my god,
I like.
drama queen to the max on the quitting. You are everybody in the building is going to know what happened here. And
Dang.
like when I would daydream about like I just like okay, I hope I can say this without getting in trouble. Like I could like set this shit on fire. And like
Yeah.
I
I can
just
picture it. Yeah.
like the phrase like going postal because I have just had enough and because that is my like I'm so composed and I'm so
You
put
are.
together
You
that
are.
the opposite of that is just to let it fly.
So,
Like and
Amber, are you that person that has in your drafts folder an email, like a rage email that you're like, I'm just going to save it in drafts? And like, would you ever like send that like rage email that's like in your drafts folder? You, Amber, you would press the red button.
oh, I would press the red button. Like sometimes I'm a little concerned as to how gleeful that I would be to just like watch the destruction of it because I know I'm
Amber, you
telling
are
you,
like Louise, like the like laughing in the flames. Like I love that. Oh my god.
have something so tactile and tangible and visible that
Yeah.
represents how I'm feeling
The
on the
suffering you've been
inside.
feeling. Yes. I
And to
know.
just
Oh, yes.
yeah, I
That's so
pause it
good.
and watch the world burn, right?
Oh yeah.
Like that's my pain talking, right? And it's not my
Yes.
actual like real self talking because my real self is
I
so kind and
I know.
considerate. And so
You are
like
Amber, I know.
but my alter ego is
Yeah.
someone who's been pushed too far. Like who my kindness has been taken advantage of, right?
Mhm.
I have just been so abused and overused and no
Mhm.
consideration has been taken for my feelings when all I do is hold space for other people's feelings
Yeah.
that I can flip. I can flip.
Yeah. How
And
far is
and
too far? Like you can only push
right.
somebody so far. Yeah.
Yes. And so I feel like have you ever seen the skit? I believe it's on Dave Chappelle, where Wayne Brady, who is like the nicest guy, right? The nicest
Mhm.
comedian, he is in this skit with Dave Chappelle where he pulls up, where he's like this gangster, and he's like, is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? And everyone's like, Wayne Brady? Like, he's the nicest guy. And like, that's not something that you would ever have imagined Wayne Brady to say. I'm Wayne Brady. Like, I am
Wow.
the nice person, but like, I have an alter ego that we can joke
Yeah.
about to be like, yeah, right? Like, even my funny little jokes about like the harm and violence, right? That I would bring to work.
Yeah.
Am I really going to do that? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Do I daydream about it?
Huh.
100%. But maybe
Actually,
this is why we have high tolerances, is because we daydream that like somehow
yeah,
like imagining the action is almost sometimes like as close to the catharsis that we need to do the thing,
yeah,
and it keeps us from really doing the thing like
yeah.
in real life. I have never imagined causing physical harm to an individual, right? And
Yeah.
but I have
Violent
certainly
individuals, like, really? No, 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 no.
I am really just violent in jokes and mind.
Yeah.
In my
Particularly
head, in
like
my
that chick with the
daydreams.
knife, like put all the cuddles in the bag. Ooh. Okay, Amber. Do you want to play a game? Because I've
Yeah.
got you. Oh my God. Our game last week was so much fun. So this is a game inspired by the one that Amber created out of nothing. You're so good. Let me get the rules really quick. We are playing a game that I'm calling Justified or Petty. All right.
Ooh.
So, yeah, very similar to what like the game you had last week. So, I'm going to give you a quitting scenario with limited information. And you tell me just simply, is it justified or petty? Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm going to reveal the context, the full context, and I'm going to be really interested if you change your mind on some of these. There's no right or wrong answer, okay? Like, I just want your natural gut response when you hear the situation, when I give you the scenario, okay? And let me know what you think here. So, scenario number 1, okay? An employee quits the day of a major company event that they were leading. This event included current and potential clients, and no one else knew the schedule well enough to run the event. Things started to fall apart almost immediately. Justified or petty?
So hard.
It's hard. And let me tell you too, like this is a real story. Well, as real as Reddit can be, right? I mean, somebody claims this to be a real thing.
Right?
So,
right.
I mean, take that for what it's worth.
Okay.
I could totally, it's kind of similar to our skit actually at the beginning, right? Very similar vibes here.
Yeah. So context is going to explain everything, right?
Will,
so
yes.
if we're just going by, like, I can make up context that can, whatever, but
what's your gut saying?
My gut's saying petty. My gut's saying petty. So I'm going to say petty. Okay. Though the context will probably tell me that the reason why is because, like, so this is my made up context, right? Is that it would be
curious. Yeah. What did you go through in your head? And now I'm also curious, are you coming at this from like, you're the company, or you're like a coworker who's like, oh man, you let this fall in my lap? Like, how are you approaching this? I'm just kind of curious.
I'm the person who quit.
You're the person who quit. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay, great. I was just curious. So I didn't know your perspective.
I did it, for petty reasons. And so, but my justified reasons would be if I'm the only one that knew the schedule, if I am and so this is the same line that I'm drawing here as to why it's also petty, right? So why didn't you share that information about the schedule? Why are you the only person who knows? Is it because you are understaffed? And if you are the only person who was assigned to do all of it, then it changes that I would feel like it was justified, right? But if you had the ability to share all of this information, even though you might have had a mind to quit, you still proceeded with the way that you proceeded without sharing any of that information, which then lands me solidly in petty.
Okay. So just to say, like, I'm assuming people did know the schedule. It just said no one else knew the schedule well enough to run the event, but not to say that there wasn't like a schedule out there. So just curious, does that change it at all for you?
I mean,
not really, like, because again, like it wasn't one of those things, like there wasn't another person there, like a backup person that had like the stuff. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
because they know who their coworkers are, and they probably knew that that's part of their justification for this is just explaining why they're leaving. People do not take responsibility for things, right? About like the success. They just take responsibility for their one piece and then damn everything else. And so I'm going to say that this is justification for why they're leaving. Yes, absolutely. Is it but they know this about their coworkers. So because this is knowledge that this individual would have, it's a setup. I'm sticking with petty.
Yeah, I'm like so fascinated, Amber, how like into the stuff you've created like a whole thing for it. I actually because that was me last week, Amber, when we were playing. I was like reading into what I thought things meant. And you were like, I'm taking word for word exactly what, and I'm like, oh, I loved that contrast, but like, you're like me, how I was last week. So here, I'm going to give you the full context. Okay. Again, this is a summary of what I read online. This was a supposed real life thing. But here's some more information. So the employee who resigned had requested time off months prior for a necessary medical procedure, and they were denied, Amber. And the event was scheduled anyway. And on the very day the employee had their planned medical procedure. That's a slap in the face. I'm like, what the hell? So anyways, curious, does this change your opinion on it?
Yes.
Because like, you're like me, we're human beings, right? We're like, freaking somebody needs a medical procedure.
Right.
How do you deny that? Like, that's insane to me. I don't get why you would deny. One, I don't know how employers are allowed to deny. I think that should be not allowed at all. And this is, again, why I think everybody needs to be in a union, because guess what? You got union protections, like you get your medical procedures. Okay. That's how it works.
Yeah. Thanks for making me feel like a piece of shit, Holly. Thanks.
No, that's not what this was about. Like this one really got to me. Like, this was like one of those standout things when I was like looking up stuff for just like this one, like, oh man, like I kind of felt this one too. For this person. And I was like, good for you. I was the one over here clapping. But there were people in the comments who were like, you know, how could you do this to your coworker? Like, you're always going to have those people. But I'm over here in the gallery, like, way to go. Like, beautiful. Love it. Love that. So yeah.
No. That's great. But I also really like, these are super fun games because, again, what you and I do, everyone else is doing as well.
Yes.
And so one particular action, without knowing the context or the stories, look at how many different stories are being invented and believed and filling in all of these blanks.
The gossip. Can you imagine the gossip, Amber? This is your food for days. Food for days,
right? You know, like this would have circulated. This would have generated rumors. This would have been, right? You know, like I heard that they were sleeping with this and they were about to get fired. So they, like
just that. Like, I'm kind of like, man, I kind of miss being at the water cooler now.
I don't.
No, not really. But like,
because
that would be
this,
like,
because I hate this drama, right? Because I just tell me what the story is. Don't let me invent stuff, because you know I'm just going to set things on fire.
Well, and you know, companies purposely won't share. Like, again, unless you went to this individual, you're never going to get the full story. Because guess what? Guess who the villain is in this story? The company's not going to let you hear this. The manager's not going to let you hear this. Are you kidding?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So when they withhold information or say that I don't have enough information to share, then what do you imagine people are thinking? They're immediately going to worst case scenario, right?
Yep. And the company's going to fuel that because it's in their, it's to their benefit, right? Like, they're not the enemy here. Now you're mad at so-and-so, and it's like, it's great, right? Like, it's all good for them. So anyway, well, so sorry.
Right.
Man, I really got you started on a good one here.
Bring on the other stuff that's going to make me.
I've got two more examples, and like, they don't really get easier. Like, I think that was the toughest one. They don't get easier, but like, let me know what you think about this next one. Okay. So this is scenario number 2 here. A retail employee doesn't show up on a day that they were scheduled to open the store. They did not provide notice, and the store missed almost an entire day's profit until a manager arrived for their afternoon shift. Justified or petty?
Oh, petty.
Petty?
This is Tom Petty all the way.
Tom Petty. All right. Do you want to give anything else? Like, do you like what was your thought process? Like, I know that this is a gut response, so it doesn't offer you really a chance to like think through. But is there anything that stands out that you're just like, that uncalled for? Was there something that stood out to you?
It feels like it's a reactionary. Again, like I give people credit for knowing things that they may or may not know. And that they have a responsibility to live with the decisions that they're making, or to kind of like ask the questions that they need to ask. And so for me, and having worked in a retail environment, I think I just assume all my coworkers were petty.
Yeah,
So
well, okay,
I'm
yeah.
so
The retail
that
me when I was doing retail, everything was petty, everything. But
everything was petty. Like,
that's true.
so I am
Yeah,
also pulling in what my personal experience is,
yeah,
right? Working
true,
in retail
fair.
or restaurant or what, right? You
Yes,
know, like, and so
yeah.
I think it's that experience that's informing the gut. And I'm like, they did that on purpose.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. So here, let me give you some more context. I'm curious if you're going to change your mind here, but some more information. So this employee, and again, this was also like, so all of these are real examples, not all from Reddit. Some of them, there were
Hmm.
like different articles and things like that, but these are all apparently true stories. Take that with a grain of salt, though. It's the internet. Anyway, but some more information on this. So this employee had been consistently working full-time hours, covering shifts for others, but was never given full-time status or benefits. They chose to quit during the busiest time of year, Christmas, when the store needed them the most. Checkmate. I'm sorry.
Okay,
That
justified,
yeah.
right? Like,
because I will say, I have worked in retail where I was working 40 plus hours pretty consistently, especially during those busy times of year. And again, they're not going to give you, who's going to give you benefits? Who's like, are you kidding? Like, it's retail. Like, they're not going to do that. In this day and age, like, you need those benefits. Like, people are working for benefits. Like, they're not working for, like, who wants to be going to work for nothing? Like, we need that stuff. So, yeah, absolutely. I know, but it's hard.
I just feel so tricked.
Well, and it's like this really, I think these examples too, these real life examples, I think is really a good, like, gives you a good picture of what revenge quitting really is, because you want it to be felt. It's not I'm going to leave and now you have to figure out how you're going to replace me. It's like, I'm going to leave and you are in a bind. You are feeling this in the moment. You're going to regret it. Because again, it's kind of this whole, like, you need me more than I need you kind of thing, right? So this is another one that I'm like over here, like, yeah, you go, whoever this person is. So sorry, let's see what your thoughts are on this last one. Because this is not quite the same. This is a little different. So let's see. So scenario number 3, this is our last example here, Amber. So an employee quits while their supervisor was on vacation. They were the senior team member covering meetings and handling incoming requests and schedules. Their resignation sat unread in the supervisor's inbox for over a week, and multiple deadlines were missed. Justified or petty?
Justified.
It feels a little milder than the other two, right?
Yeah.
This feels very corporate-y kind of thing. Like,
it does. Yeah.
Okay, so here's some more information on this one. So the employee who quit requested remote work to be able to move closer to their aging parents who lived out of state. There were other employees across the company who also worked remotely, but this employee's request was denied. The employee asked for flexibility and support, and they did not get it. Are we asking for too much, Amber? Is it too much to ask for some empathy for human beings who want benefits, want healthcare benefits, want to be able to live closer to, family members who are unwell or aging parents? I need a medical procedure. Are we asking for too much?
It does make us feel like that is like that is the question that I feel like is a trained question that they want you to ask, so that way it puts you into check. Like you are rolling for perception right now, right? Like I roll me a D20, a perception check, right?
That was great. Thank you. Bonus points for that. I'll give you advantage on that because that was well done. Well done.
Because they want you to feel, I mean, and I say they as if it's like a machine of some way, right? But it's like honestly, right? It's just a collective, right? Like, yes, but there is no, like, I don't know if there's actually strings behind it. It's just I see what you're saying. Right. It's just the way things like that, unless somebody kind of takes charge of the empathy involved with it, then all of those decisions usually typically come without that empathy, which again, in all of these scenarios, except for this last one, right. None of it had the emotion. So you strip the emotion out of an event and you just look at the event and look at how much it changes. Mm-hmm. And it's, I would even say it's not just context. To me, my heartstrings were pulled.
Yes.
The situation was not different. The actions of the situation were there. You add a layer to allow me to be empathetic, which is where my humanness is, most seen and felt. Right. I'm going to treat this person as a human.
Right.
But just hearing no emotions, just plain action, well, then that's what I'm going to, like, I don't have any empathy to connect myself to give understanding. All I have is cause and effect.
Right.
This thing happened, this thing. And obviously, I ultimately believe people are out to get us at work. And I think that came out and came true. Like, I feel like that there is this sense of people are out for each other. I mean, out for their individuals.
Yeah.
There's not really a sense of team and a sense of like
and
compassion
who benefits
for
from
others.
that, Amber? Who benefits from this? Like, wanting to compete with each other and what, like, you know what I mean? And like, that's definitely a, like something that they, what do they like feed, right? Like, cause it's to their benefit. It's still better for them if there is a little bit of friction. Right. And so you're never mad at the company. You're mad at your coworker over here who, took a day off and then come to find out, well, they took a day off because they had to go get a biopsy, or they had to, their kid had, something horrible going on. But you don't think about that. You don't think about like the human that had to take a day off. You're just like, dang, I have to cover their work. Like that's intentional. Yeah. Anyway, but curious.
I loved it though. Loved the game.
I'm glad you like the game. I'm curious though, like, because Amber, this is another one of those, like, we don't have a story, so we don't have something anchoring us for like a like maybe a true coaching moment. But like, do you have like reflection stuff, or like what comes to mind from a coaching perspective when you think of like revenge, quitting?
Well, I mean, one, it feels really close because I feel like there's a lot of emotions, and even in our storytelling. And so it does beg for me, like, if you are going to choose revenge quitting and you're going to put in the work around it, who's your audience for it? And what are you hoping that they'll say when the curtain drops?
If I was at that point where I was quitting, I don't know that I need a response. I just want to know, like, it hurt. And like, I don't care if I heard from you that it hurt, or care that I heard from a coworker that it hurt, but like,
well, that's a response.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It caused them pain.
Yeah.
The response is that what I did caused you pain.
Yeah. Did you feel
the
that?
response.
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Did you feel that? Right. And so,
true.
So if that's where you're at,
yes,
then a follow-up would be that if you're looking to cause hurt and to know that they hurt, that you hurt them, it's because they hurt you. And that I hope that you finally see me, and that it no longer becomes revenge. It's grief. A consideration to make is then, doesn't grief deserve a better exit than a potential burned bridge, or a potential, right? Like, I don't know, maybe it doesn't, but it does to me. If the real purpose behind the revenge is to inflict the same amount of grief on someone else that you're feeling, just so you can be seen, and that maybe they will understand just a tiny, tiny ounce of this amount of grief that I'm giving, how much that I've been carrying around. Are you really addressing your grief? And is it worth the potential? I mean, I know that we've talked about burned bridges don't really hurt us as bad as they used to. Because we can just go on. But is it really worth the consequences of a revenge quit, when the reality is that you just wanted to be recognized that you were grieving and to have it addressed? So
no, I like it, because I do think too, like, there is some grief because, people were put in a situation that they should have been put in the first place. So there's probably grief, right? Like, had things been better, they probably would have stayed where they were. So it is kind of grief of losing something, like not having control and feeling like forced out almost in a way, like if they felt that they needed to protect themselves, protect whatever. It's, oh man. And I've got to say too, like, this topic has really got me kind of conflicted, because I'm with you that there are consequences for our actions, right? There's consequences wherever, but I feel like maybe because I like read all these different stories and stuff, and I was just so just in awe over like how these people I guess like made their hurt known, that I'm kind of like, those consequences would be like something that the company would want us to focus on, not because like it's really of importance. And the like what would have been important is like you knew that these things are wrong within the company. This culture's wrong. This leave policy is wrong. This benefits policy, whatever it is, like this is like BS. It's hurting people. We're not focused. We're like over here like, oh, there's going to be consequences for this. And I'm like, you're right. There are consequences for all this stuff. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm just kind of like, it feels a lot smaller to me than like the big like issues within these systems, and nobody wants to address it. I feel very like, I feel like so conspiratorial about stuff like the enemy within. Like, yes. I don't know. It's just like, geez, I feel like a crazy person thinking all these things, but I don't know.
What are you talking about? I feel like an arsonist.
I've gone.
I think it does. It creates these like really weird, strange versions of us, like the paranoia, the conspiracy, like, right. You know, and you come up with because it's the story, it's the gaps we're filling in to help explain why our companies that are run by people not treating people as people. Like this is the human element, right? The humanness is gone. And so in lieu of having what that information is, that's where all of these creativity comes in, right? Yeah. Like it's a conspiracy. This is what they're trying to do. This is where rumor mills start. This is where it's like, because if they can't do the thing that's right, what's stopping them from doing the thing that's right? And of course, everybody's got a different answer for what is right. So to be fair, what's right for you, Holly, and would be the most human thing may not be the thing that somebody else determines is, well, that doesn't fit my humanness or fit what I would want. And so like, I don't know, like this is such a huge, but I don't like the person that I was turning into because it does tend to make me a little more callous. The more daydreams that I was having, right? Around like, I just need to walk away, right? Like, I just need to walk away from this.
And I definitely see, like, after reading some of these things and kind of preparing for I see revenge quitting a little differently than I did before. And I'm definitely different than I was like when I first joined the workforce. But this was like kind of eye-opening for sure for me.
Yes, for sure. Well, it was eye-opening for you. Then I'm curious if it's been eye-opening for our listeners. So, dear listeners, we're going to be setting up, as we do after every episodes on Wednesdays in our break room on our subreddit. We advertise our new episodes that come out every Wednesday on our YouTube channel and on our Instagram. We also have TikTok, though we're really kind of hanging out on the Reddit. So come join us on our subreddit. Again, we ask for memes. We ask for kind of like how you're feeling. But Holly and I kind of left this one feeling a little different, and some of us a little strongly. And so like this one really kind of brought out, I was excited to see that there was a lot of like different directions that this topic could take us. So let us know what you felt about it, either on our YouTube comments. And again, we're just kind of like, engage with us. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. We really do. And so we are Sanity Pending Podcast. I am Amber, and this is Holly. And if you have not throat punched some, how about this? If you've not daydreamed about throat punching somebody this week, it's been a great week.
Yes.
That was a slow-mo punch, right? Because in your daydream.